All right, welcome back to SRS Chess. I'm going to show kind of a 1-2 punch from Leelachessqueenodds and none other than Stockfish. So I have been training day and night to defeat Leelachessqueenodds. Now this bot is it evolves over time. I've seen this before. I also forgot that I forgot that I did beat Leelachessqueenodds a little less than a year ago, I think. However, at that time, Leelachessqueenodds was a lesser bot. It did not have the experience it has now. And in fact, the Leelachessqueenodds bot was rated 2000 when I beat it with the black pieces a year ago, and now it is rated 2400. I don't know how they get that rating. My guess is that they base it on its performance rating, so it's losses and wins against players on Leechess. But I'm not sure. I do know that the bot is absolutely harder than it was a year ago. So my other video or my other game against Leela, where I did win with the black pieces, I will link to. And I'll put that link down below so you can check that out. Also, I've edited in the evaluation bar for these games, these two games, technically three. I just edited this in after, so there were no cheats, extensions, or anything of that variety used in playing this game. And I never use any kind of extensions, cheats, add-ons, etc. And for proof of that, you can also check out the second link that I will put in the description, which comes from 50 games that I played for the purpose of demonstrating fair play. So those have always been available. I don't think anybody who actually looks into my gameplay would have questions, but certainly people that don't bother to look at it might just make assumptions without actually looking into it. So that would be the concern. The idea with a lot of bots that you'll play, pretty much at all levels, the idea with bots is that they will push pawns, because if you play all the right defensive moves, then you don't need no stinking pawns. But a human being will lose constantly if they are put into these situations that Leela is going to be in this game quite shortly, as their pawns are very overextended. However, the Barack Obama. However, that's also going to be Leela's biggest strength, because those pawns will be pushed. And I believe it was Ben Feingold, when I used to watch a stream, who said, and I'm guessing this is a thing that they say, if you're learning chess through a proper channel, like a really good teacher, which I think Ben Feingold is, he said that a queen on the 7th rank, or for black on the 2nd rank, is worth about the same as a queen, which is it's usually considered to be 10 points. A rook 5, a minor piece 3, a queen 10, in normal circumstances. So that is one of the ways that you can start to understand the evaluation bar that I'm showing on the left side right now. So I edited in not only the evaluation bar, but also what I'm saying right now. All of this was after the game. So you can see it says minus 5.3. So you can think of that as like black is winning by 2 minor pieces, or a rook and a pawn. So that move wasn't as bad as it looked like it was. I think I got 2 pawns for a minor piece, so it would be like, okay, that's 1 point in white's favor. But there's also a pin from the queen now, if the bishop moves. This is the part of the game where I had to decide, do I want to just ditch the queen? I have 15 seconds left, and I did. And now, I could have taken his knight. So I should have two knights and two rooks on the board right now. So what I did is I went back to that position and played Stockfish, and so you will see that at the end of this game. And I played like the level 8 Stockfish, so unbeatable essentially Stockfish. So you'll see how that went. I was very unfortunate that I didn't do that. And now you can see that Leela's game plan is going to be to protect those pawns. My game plan should be to take those pawns. And that should be the only thing I'm thinking about doing. So right now, my knight could go to the d4 square. Okay, so immediately I'm not doing it right. Not at all. I should be going after his pawns, now I should move the rook, the other rook. Okay, so I'm just not doing the correct things. I have 12 seconds left. I'm panicking. I'm trying to take his pawns. So I mean, it looked right, but now I should play f5, and this is the losing move, and an unbelievably bad move. If I had played f4 and he had taken en passant, then the rook would have been, it would have had the pawn in its scope right on the other side, and now he's going to have connected passers, which is, yeah, maybe it's connected passers on the 7th rank are worth a queen. Maybe that was it. I don't know. I think it's more of like a folksy saying or like a generalization than a true statement. So if you ever want to find out a good checkmating pattern for two passed pawns and a rook, that was just about it. So here I am playing Stockfish level 8. Now I think I did this 5 times or something like that. 5 times. Oh, that's 9 times. So I was trying to do Ferris Bueller. So I failed like 5 times in a row. And then I found out, it was very instructive for me. I found out that that the game plan needs to revolve around immediately securing my pawns. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose to over defend the pawns now. Instead of the engine evaluation, I have the engine evaluation bar visible on the left-hand side, and the best move is what the arrows are pointing to. So you can see I'm arranging my knights so that they will protect me. I'm a little worried that he'll get me to blunder into a checkmating pattern with the knight and the rook. So I go for this. Now if I had moved the queen over, or I'm sorry, if I moved the king over, I would have had it. But see, I'm looking to move the pawn up, and so I just kind of hastily made that move. And those, that's the thing about being a human that kind of stinks if you want to be great at chess, because I don't think that any human being is capable of eliminating every single time that they make just the smallest little mistake like that. But anyways, to continue what I was saying, or to say it, I want to connect the knights so they'll defend each other, and then the knights can protect the pawns, and then my king can go take care of his pawns. And eventually, even if I weren't able to do it immediately, I would put him into a zugzwang situation, see Gukesh v Ding, the final game, for an example of that. And you can see I just blundered because I just wasn't being patient enough. Blundering that pawn decided the game. So that's unfortunate, but there's much to be learned here, because see, that was the zugzwang situation because his king couldn't move in. And I could have escorted the pawn to its promotion square. Now there's no way of protecting this pawn without giving up the knight. So what do I want? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. I want to draw. That's what I want. I want to draw. And so, luckily, I get into this position. And it was here that I realized I don't even remember whether or not two knights can checkmate a king, or two knights and a king can checkmate a king. I don't remember. I know that, or rather, I knew that a king and a knight can't checkmate a king, and I knew that a king and a knight can checkmate a king and a pawn, because that actually happened to me one time. My opponent missed the checkmate, but it could have had it. Nicely done by myself nonetheless, even though I was playing from a winning position and lost it. I guess that's not that great. But the only blunder made by Stockfish was it just says the first move is a blunder because it doesn't have because it's missing material and losing. So big shout out to Leela Chess Zero, the Leela Chess Zero project. Check it out. Big thanks to the subscribe button on YouTube. Not used often enough. Big thanks to Stockfish, Stockfish level 8, who I'm playing right now. Feels like a stronger version of Stockfish now than it feels stronger than yesterday. I thought that I was going to probably stalemate him, so I took a little bit of time there. But yeah, I did everything in my power, and we repeat positions. That is a draw. So these games were recorded with the evaluation edited in. All right. And so now I'm going for a Scandinavian defense in my pursuit to game plan how to defeat Leela. The idea is extremely rudimentary. It is, I stop him from castling. I develop minor pieces. He's going to push pawns, and I'm going to try to just like win the game on the spot. So now I can I can either pin the knight with the bishop, or I can go for this clever little checkmate threat. It's like the least clever checkmate threat ever, and he stops it in the way that probably even a beginner would know how to do after a few games. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pin the knight. The engine slightly preferred checking with the queen first, but it's the same idea. So he has to castle this way, and then the alternative to, yeah, it would have just been the same basic thing. His knight is on a ridiculous square now, as opposed to he wouldn't be castled in the other variation probably. I had this idea to leave the pawn there to shut down that diagonal, because Leela keeps beating me with that fianchettoed dark squared bishop, which is actually it's kind of funny because I always say that the Nimzo Larsen is refuted. I guess Leela knows something. Well, I guess Leela's not actually playing a Nimzo Larsen, so I should probably just copy Leela at some point, but haven't done it yet. And you can see that Leela is now just using that diagonal that the bishop naturally has. So, yeah, bots will be bots. That's the amazing thing about bots yeah, in relation to chess, is that there are so many like little things that they do that just they'll never be appreciated, because it's like 10,000 different things at once. And the intricacy with which these positions are set up is not discernible to the human eye or to the human mind. Whoa. So now I should join the knights together, but I should probably move the queen out of the way first. And with that doubled pawn that I didn't take in the beginning of the game, I could have just taken it. But then this game would have been like 10 other games, and now it's still like 10 other games, but 10 different games. I definitely thought about playing queen to a6. Queen to a6. I thought about playing it, but I figured that he would probably just defend his bishop, and then maybe he would have like an uncovered thing, and it would be bad. So I don't totally know why he didn't take the knight there. I don't really know Why didn't he take the knight there? I don't really know. And now I should have just taken that pawn there, but I did realize I looked at what would happen if he pushed it, and I noticed that it would be fine. So I decided that I would just play a different move, like going after his rook. So you could actually almost like see me do that there. Cool, man. So now I pin. Any time that you can pin a piece, do it. I'm pinning his rook, so now I don't have to worry about his rook coming after my knight for at least a move. So why not? Why not just move it right in front of the rook, just to kind of shove it in his face that I know how to pin pieces too. And now now he's probably got a skewer that he's going to unleash, and it's not going to be good. So that's why I want to get one piece out of the way. My knight still not gone. I could have just played queen to a7 there as well. So yeah, both of the games having a moment where I was like panicking and just gave up the queen. So now I go after his rook and allow him to potentially take mine. He doesn't want that, so he makes the trade, and then he doesn't take my rook. I mean, I think he just doesn't want to give up any material at this point, because I'm objectively winning this game. Like, I'm actually winning this game, not like the last one. This is like an actual win. So I didn't want to allow various tactics there. That's why I left that pawn undefended. He would have won a pawn either way. So I just went ahead with this, and now I invited him to make this trade, which is terrible for me. But on the other hand, I have 11 seconds left. I only gain 2 seconds back per move. So that's not great. Now I noticed that I could move the knight to defend the pawn, or I could move the rook to defend that pawn from promoting. So I'm going to do both. I move the rook back to assist. All right, let's defend that pawn. I don't want him to take that. Now I'm going to push the h pawn so that the knight stays in place. The 3 horse pulling up sharply on the 2. Okay. And as we round the, what do you call it? As we round the, I don't know. I don't, I'm not a horse racing guy. So now I have to move my rook back. Find the winning move at home if you can. Here's the winning move. Well, that's the losing move. The winning move, I had to capture his rook. For some reason, I thought my knight would be able, I thought my knight was 1 square over. So while I put up a valiant attempt to catch up with the 3 horse at the end of the race, he takes, and now I lose the game. So I'm not going to play Stockfish again. But nonetheless, that was some serious chess.